Last winter, the world met Madame Margie, the moistureless. But while Badlandia banded together at GART, she evolved. While deep in her lair, she uncovered 4 sacred instruments of hydration. The lip balm, the lotion, the tallow bar, and the new stainless steel gua sha. Together, they wage war. Flaking has fallen, roughness retreats, dryness trembles, and among the rebels, Mother's good boy. But elsewhere in Badlandia, rebellion grows, the beards remain.
Shave them all off.
Visit softdisclosure.com and use promo code Mama's Boy for 20% off your Mother's Day bundle. Can't choose the right sacred instruments for your mother? Offer them all with an e-gift card. For softness, for victory, for moms.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA.
June 25th through the 28th, Badlands Media is headed back to Deadwood, South Dakota for the 12th annual stop on the Great American Restoration Tour. Whether you're attending in person or virtually, a GART veteran or a virgin, there is something for everyone. Early bird prices for virtual tickets are available through May 15th. Merch packages are now also available for both in-person or virtual ticket holders. Get your GART 12 tickets today at badlandsmedia.tv/events. That's badlandsmedia.tv/events. This episode is brought to you by Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil Omega-3s Anti-Haxorphin for heart, joints, and memory. If you've been taking fish oil for heart, joint, or memory support, here's something you need to know. Research shows that fish oil is 50% less absorbable than krill oil because fish oil's omega-3s are a triglyceride, while krill oils are a phosphide form, which is the same format that your cell walls are made up of. That means krill oil gets into your cells immediately, and in head-to-head studies, krill oil outperformed fish oil at improving cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and easing joint pain, often at lower doses. Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil is sourced from pristine Antarctic waters, containing the powerful antioxidants anti-haxorphin, and comes in a tiny soft gel with no fishy burps. Learn more and grab your Badlands special discount plus free shipping today at getkrill.com/Badlands. That's GETKRILLDOT.com/Badlands.
Your body doesn't need more synthetic fixes. It needs real plant medicine. Wild herbs are packed with minerals, adaptogens, and healing compounds your body actually recognizes and can use, supporting energy, immunity, and balance from the inside out. At Tamarac Garden, our supplements bring these overlooked weeds and wildflowers back into your daily routine. Don't just manage symptoms, support your body and eat your weeds. Head to tamaracgarden.com for $10 off your order of $50 or more when you use code BADLANDS at checkout.
The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the up.
Authentically antagonizing.
Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shipwreck Show. My name is Shipwreck, and I will be your hostess with the mostest. Hello, sunshine. A very happy first week of summer. It's 90 fucking degrees here today. I ain't even mad about it. I'll be mad about it when it's 90 and humid and full of mosquitoes. Give it another 3 weeks. That's when I hate summer. I love summer right now. I would love to live in like the desert, I think, during summer because it's dry heat. I could get into that. Good evening. I liked it when Native Path advertised collagen peptides. I agree. They sent me some collagen peptides. I used them all. And I liked them. Now I'm back to using my husband's work ones because I'm all out. And we have a bunch of it just laying around. So we're just taking it. But yeah, if you want to get some collagen peptides from Native Path, they sell it. It's good. I like it. Hello. It's good to see you. I was just scrolling during the intro. Did you guys know that the Ed McMahon Publishers Clearinghouse thing is a Mandela effect? Why was my whole fucking childhood just ruined? Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that he claimed it never existed. The fuck are you talking about, dude? I distinctly, I remember. In fact, in my early, late 8 kid years, probably 10, okay, I called my grandma and pretended that I was from, on April Fool's Day, pretended that I was from Publishers Clearinghouse and that she had won and Ed McMahon wanted to come to her house and I needed her address. And she believed me for about a minute. And then she put my Uncle John on the phone. And then he was like, no, it's an April Fool's joke. Like, that happened. That happened. It did happen. I remember it happening. I remember it happened distinctly. We had the cordless phone because this was long before cell phones. Okay. It was gray and white. I called from our cordless phone. Hello. It's good. Yeah, that is a Mandela effect. I just watched a TikTok about it because the trend on TikTok now is that we jump timelines back at the end of April, and we're back to the first timeline we were in before 2009. I don't know. And then now they're talking about these Mandela effects. And I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I guess I don't feel any different. My only question about the timeline thing, though, is like if you were sick in one timeline and you moved to another timeline, are you no longer sick? Do you know what I mean? That's my only hang up with the timeline jumping. And I guess maybe you could be, maybe you couldn't be. Like I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis back in 2005. And I stopped taking all the drugs and stopped doing all the treatments and stopped doing everything during COVID because it got super fucking stupid and ridiculous. They got super ridiculous with it. And it just stopped making sense. And the side effects were terrible. My hair was falling out and like my everything was all messed up. Like my period was messed up. My body was messed up. I was messed up. And she's like, well, I've been on 10 or 15 different medications by this point. Because with your insurance, you have to work your way up from the shittiest one to the best one before they'll pay for it. And when I realized that that's what was happening, and then I realized the medication that I was on only actually had to be given once a year, didn't have to be done twice a year because they weren't doing the injections because of COVID. And she's like, you'll be fine. I'm like, well, then why am I doing it twice a year if I'd be fine for once a year? Right? And she couldn't answer that. And I'm like, I'm all done with all this. And I haven't done anything since. And so like in the last timeline then, do I not have it anymore? Because I've been fine. Knock on wood. I always say that. It did happen. I remember it happening. I remember Ed McMahon. I remember the cameras following him around. I remember the big checks. It was on every fucking infomercial commercial. Well, this lady on TikTok, she said that it's because the government is trying to change like history. And the reason that they like the whole Mandela effect, like the belief is a government psyop. And they did the Mandela effect and belief to keep us distracted from the fact that the government doesn't want you to know that we consistently jump through timelines and portals. Hi, baby. There is rhubarb bars in the fridge from Sarah. That's what I said. I said rhubarb, didn't I? Rhubarb. They look really good. So, save me one. I don't think I have any calories left, but I'll eat one for breakfast. I love you. I don't know. Hello. Thanks for being here live. There's just one timeline. Could be. I don't worry about it too much anymore. I was having inflammation. I need to take it 4 times being. Yeah, it does. Collagen peptide helps. Inflammation, joint pain. I mean, if you have hair and nail problems, yes, it definitely helps with that too. But I took it for inflammation and joint pain. You know, but then I also exercise. I'm eating better. I mean, that all helps too. But the collagen peptide helped before any of that other stuff. I got real good at any of that other stuff. You can go through Native Path and use the Badlands code to get your money off if you want. You can go through a different company. I'm a big fan of collagen peptide. I just am. Yeah, she dropped off some. So Sarah and Jeremy are one of the families, the farm families we get our cow from, and we just ordered one from her a week ago. A little more expensive this time around, but still cheaper than buying all that from the grocery store. But then she also brings me eggs from her farm, and then I baked her some cookies, and then she made me some rhubarb bars. She's great. Rhubarb bars. She's great. They're great. They're good people. I don't know about the time. I stopped worrying about the timeline thing. Say straight line, maybe. I just stopped. I kind of stopped I didn't stop all of this. Like, I've got some videos and stuff because it all is still very interesting. But I think eventually you get to this point with the rabbit holes and the government corruption and the politics. You go down it so many times and you get built up and then you get broke down and then you get built up and then you get broke down. Unless you're getting paid to get built up and then to stay built up, or at least pretend like you're staying. I see a lot of you, especially on X, to stay built up. Okay. You crash. And then eventually what happens is you come back to Jesus. You just start drinking Diet Coke again. You just don't. You pick and choose your battles. You pick and choose your battles. I used real M&Ms in my cookies because organic M&Ms, I don't know if that's a thing. 2, if it is, it sounds gross. And I think limiting the amount that you eat, it's just pick your fucking battles. Everything is poison. Pick your poison. That's probably where that saying even comes from. Pick your poison at this point. Whatever. Nikola Tesla lived in all time periods. He could have. That's an interesting thing. Our birth could be a Mandela effect. Could be. Your rhubarb is? I don't have any rhubarb. Maybe next year. I need to figure out something to do. I did a video on this. We're in a transition period in our house. To where my kids they're still not old enough to like drive or to like be responsible. Like, I'm still responsible for them. But they're old enough now to like walk to the park and walk with their friends. And we live in a very small town. So they're still old enough to do all of that. And so now they're like, it's kind of a different summer this year. Because now they're here, they're not here. They come and they go. They have to check in. That's a non-negotiable. I have their phones. I know, I know where they are. But so I'm at this point where it's like they're here, but they're not here. They might be home for dinner. They might not be home for dinner. They might be home for lunch. They might not. So I have like all this. I just make lunch, and somebody said, and then I just put it in the fridge. If they want to eat it later, they can. If they don't, Mr. Shipwreck will take it to work. But I got to find something to do because I'm not really momming that hard anymore. You know what I mean? I still got to do it. Like, I still got to be available when I need to be available, but I don't need to be available 24/7 anymore. So I'm going to build a garden. I'm going to do that next year. We've already talked about that. A bigger garden. And then I started counting my calories. I'm trying to eat a little better. I'm losing a little weight. I'm like doing some me stuff, I feel like that's good, but and then more content, but the content is shifting too, because I can't do this anymore. I can't. Everything is fake. Elections are fake. Money is fake. Everything is fake. So now you just have to learn how to be in the system around it and how to survive it. And it's supposed to be like a game. And this has been pulling on my heart for a long time. And I've kind of been going back and forth. And I still want to talk about things when I catch things that I feel if I feel called to talk about it. But I'm getting that less and less and less. Like the Thomas Massey thing, I had so many people reach out. And we're like, hey, are you coming to Kentucky? Hey, can you post this? Will you post this? Hey, are you going to support Massey? And I'm just like, man, I'm making cookies. No, I ain't got time for that today. I'm sorry. And I love these people. I do. I love them. I have a lot of respect for them. They've built, their platforms. They've done their thing. And they really believe in Thomas Massey. And great. But we'll see. I don't know. You know what I mean? We'll see what happens. I think eventually what's going to happen is everybody's going to kind of get to this point that I'm at right now. A lot of us, I think there's a lot of us that are at this point right now. A lot of us that are so awake that we found Jesus and we're drinking Diet Coke again. Fuck it. Like, fuck it. And then I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with that. And a lot of people are like, well, you're getting paid to be an anti-Trumper. And that's not it at all. That's not it at all. But at some point, you have to start seeing the bullshit for what it is. And it's bullshit. The endorsing of Lindsey Graham, I've still got comments. He's exposing him. Listen to me, young lady. Lindsey Graham doesn't need to be exposed anymore. He doesn't. I just read a story somebody posted in my comments about some male prostitute who was paid to hook up with him, but he had so many moles around his butt and he calls them his little ladybugs, and that's where the name came from. And fuck, I'll never get that story out of my head. Thank you to whoever shared that on X. You piece of shit. I hate you. I don't, the point is to find Jesus. The point is to learn to live within it the best that you can. It's supposed to be fun, kind of. Like it's a game. And it just doesn't feel like a game. I thought about this too. I could volunteer. I could get a job that I feel passionately about. You know, my husband does the heavy lifting on the financials around here, but I could find a job that I'm passionate about, you know? And everybody's arguing about sugar. I don't know. I think sugars are all different. I think I use sugar. He endorsed Byron freaking Donalds in Florida. Yeah, I can't, and I'm all done with it. You know what? Like I said, if I see something and I feel compelled to speak on it, I will. But I think on the regular basis, we're just going to learn to live through it. And have been pulled a lot in that direction. And go from there, learning how the teaching, the amount of people that don't know how to cook is pretty wild to me from like scratch. And that's kind of coming back. I learned to be okay with my own, but yeah, it is. I'm getting there. I know if I have too much, we're still arguing about sugar. I know if I have too much sugar, so gross. If I have too much sugar, I do get really inflamed. Like I used to drink the Frappuccinos from Starbucks or McDonald's sometimes. It was a while back, but like the next day I felt it. I'd feel it in every ounce of my body. That was too much sugar. But a fourth of a cup of sugar for a batch of 42 cookies, I feel like is probably pretty okay. So we'll see. But that's kind of where I'm at. Some stuff interests me. Like I said, I've got some videos here I want to talk about. The apocalypse tracker. Because people are like fucking awake too. This is a really good video. Somebody had built an apocalypse tracker. And this tracker tracks the planes of the billionaires so that if they all take out at once, then you'll get a notification saying, hey, something's fucking happening. Here it is.
If the world's richest billionaires suddenly try to flee the country all at once, an elite tracking system will now trigger an apocalypse alarm. An American programmer has officially launched the Apocalypse Early Warning System. The concept is simple. It monitors the exact flight data of over 11,000 private jets owned by the world's elite. The system filters out normal air traffic to isolate the specific transponders of tech moguls and politicians. If the tracker detects a sudden, massive swarm of billionaire jets all taking off at the exact same time, the alarm jumps to level 5, which is called duck and cover. We already know elites are obsessed with apocalypse insurance. Mark Zuckerberg has a fortified compound with a massive underground bunker in Hawaii, and OpenAI executives have literally admitted they plan to build bunkers before unleashing advanced AI. Unsurprisingly, billionaires are biting back. Elon Musk famously banned flight trackers on X, and the US Congress is currently reviewing a privacy act to hide private jet broadcast data from the public. If the billionaires lose their privacy, we get a front row seat to their escape route. If the alarm goes off, where are you heading? Let us know.
Ha! Fucking clowns. I hate billionaires. I hate them all. Hello, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I mean, I do. They drive me insane, right? Their arrogance and their narcissism. But there is one thing that with the billionaires, like you almost feel kind of bad for them too, because you almost kind of get to this point to where, and I've got a video on this, I'm going to play it next, but you almost get to this point where like they don't, the only way that you feel true feelings, true anything is through like a struggle of some point. It's like billionaires have to manifest their own struggle. Like Elon Musk's rocket failures, right? They have to manifest their own struggles in order to feel. Like we don't have to manifest shit. Because we just out here be struggling, right? But because we're struggling, we appreciate other things so much more. The love of our family, the love of ourselves, the love of the things that we love, right? And they don't know what that's like. And that's sad. I feel kind of bad for them because it gets to a point where you're like, you're so out of touch that you don't even know what it feels like to be human or to relate to people on a massive scale, like this video.
I think the wealthy elites, the 1%, the billionaires, are starting to see the writing on the wall. That they don't get to have their tech doomsday. They don't get to have their weaponized AI-mediated Night of Long Knives 2.0, where they get to deploy their Terminators on the general American population, general world population, and imprison or kill all of their political dissenters against their fascist regime, their authoritarian dreams. I think they're starting to realize that as they continue to try and treat all of us like cattle, like disposable pawns for them to amass more wealth and more control, to constrict our wealth from us and demand that we produce more for them when we have less and less, that it always ends in their blood. And I'm not trying to be an alarmist or an accelerationist here. I'm just trying to be realistic. Within the context of history, it always ends in their blood when they get so money hungry, when they get so hungry for power and control, and they have such a delusional disconnect from the humanity that they themselves are a part of, however far removed they attempt to make themselves. And I think they want to punish us for our humanity. There is a deep jealousy, a deep envy in them that wishes they could experience joy and happiness and love and care and connection in the same way that we do. And they want to make terrible living conditions for all of us, where we work more and we have less and we pay more for less. So that we stay in survival mode and we don't have the ability to form these meaningful connections. And we prioritize money in the same way that they do. All is a ploy to never have to be triggered by seeing love again. They don't want to see love and happiness in people. They don't want to be reminded that they have a barren husk where their heart should be. Looking at you, Elon Musk. Everything you touch dies. No one ever has loved you. No one ever will love you because you're a failure. And you know it. But maybe they're starting to see that writing on the...
Okay, that ended pretty aggressively. I never watched it to the end, but that's all right. We got $10 from, is it NC Chesney? The apocalypse and the biblical revelations is exactly what the elites want for you to believe. It's all bullshit. I know who's in control, complete control. Good. Jesus? Probably. Maybe me. Probably not. I watched another video too that said maybe they're not building their bunkers for doomsday or the apocalypse like you're saying. Maybe they're building them to protect them from us, because I got ugly towards the end. Because when you start unleashing, that's why we talk about artificial intelligence. Everybody's super afraid of it. Super duper afraid of it. Right? But like, just hear me out. What if it comes out in some kind of like good Terminator kind of way? Or even better, like, you guys ever watch iRobot with Will Smith? You had the one good robot and then they save the whole city. Like, what if it's like that? What if AI actually gets away from them and exposes them for who they are and just exposes everything? And what if artificial intelligence actually does the will of the people? When you think about, my husband's a big nerd when it comes to like the Avengers movie. And you talk about Thanos, and somebody brought this up in a video too I'd watched a while back. Talked about Thanos, and the idea of Thanos was that Thanos was God, and he was basically, wiping out half the population to save humanity. That was the plan. And then it went how it went in the movie. But I watched so many videos of these guys that would walk up to people on the street and they'd be like, "Do you believe in Jesus Christ?" And these people were like, "No." And it's like, okay, like to like discuss, like one guy's like, "No, I think he's a joke. I think the whole thing is a joke." And it's like, there's a lot of people in videos. And I'm like, dang, I didn't realize there was that many non-believers out there. Right? And then you see all the bad things that happen to the kids and all that. Like, what if AI, and it just comes in and just wipes all those people off the planet. I've actually heard about an AI system that blackmailed one of its creators, info about his wife. It's fair because the AI system didn't want to shut down. It's actually, yeah, I read about that. I think it's going to get out of hand fast if it hasn't already. It probably has already. They've already talked about how there are people in the population that are only half human. They're aliens, quote unquote, right? And then there was a story that came out this week that talked about, hold on. There was a story that came out this week that talked about ancestry.com. So if you ever ran your DNA through ancestry.com to figure out where you came from, that was actually a government program because they were trying to find the people who were a part of this alien DNA. They were trying to find them all and pinpoint where they were in the world or in the country, because this information is going to come out and something is going to happen. And those people are, like a switch is going to flip. What if the AI data centers are actually free energy centers? I thought about this too. There's a lot of fear, and rightfully so, with the AI data centers, like taking up farmland, there is one that is going up not far from me, but it is going up on land that was already donated for a solar farm, and that solar farm had failed. So they're going to remove the solar farm out of there, and they're going to put the AI data center. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Okay. But we had talked about this because there's another rumor about a Mid-America. Oh, my husband was telling me the story. It's out because it's out by his work. There's like a Mid-America like center, like a big Mid-America does all of our energy, right? Everybody's, a lot of people's energy. There's a big Mid-America data center or energy center that they're converting to nuclear, or they're trying to convert to nuclear, or they're trying to, but like the state's kind of pushing back or something. I'd have to look it all up. But it's a current ongoing thing. They want to do this so that they can help push energy to this data center and then inevitably to everybody else. And I've read everybody's super afraid of like nuclear power, but there's a lot of good things about nuclear power too as well. I guess it's clean, it's cheap. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it all again. I'd read all about it once. What if the AI is just another? I feel like AI has been here a lot longer than we've had access to it, a lot longer than we've even known it has existed. God, I'm having problems talking tonight. I feel like the AI, because I don't believe the data centers have anything to do with like your chat GPTs. I don't. Because we've had fucking internet for years. All of a sudden we need AI data centers everywhere in order to power. That doesn't make any sense. I know it gave Homer Simpson a job. I read that it wasn't that. It was a lot cleaner. It was a lot cheaper. And the reason that we don't do it isn't because of the fear porn around nuclear, like nuclear meltdowns and shit like that. It's because it would take away business from the oil companies, who are one of the biggest, obviously the biggest companies that run everything, right? They own everything. Everything has to do with these oil companies. Hello, Jilly. Yeah, nuclear is better by far than turbines. Yeah, there was a whole article on it and how like the fear around nuclear power was again another government thing, like a government propaganda campaign, because they wanted to keep people dependent on oil. So I don't know. Oh yeah, I think AI has been around a long time. I think, yeah. The Dwayne Arnold power plant is going to be a nuclear one? I'm just saying, I feel like whale oil is greater than nuclear, fuck the ocean. I feel like there's things going on with this that there's a lot of fear porn around it, but I also feel like there's good things that not enough people talk about. I don't know. AI is learning how to be better humans than we are at teaching it. I don't know how to say that word. Nuclear fusion produces no heat and or no waste. Nuclear was closed in 2020. I don't know. The internet is, essentially, yeah. Remember Ask Jeeves? That was kind of like the same thing as Chat GPT, except glitchier and wronger. A lot. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I just don't think that I just don't feel like it's as hell-bent and dangerous as everybody is saying it's gonna be. I think it potentially could be. I don't know. We're gonna find out, though, because there's no stopping it, and that's something I've kind of resigned to as well. There's no stopping it. You aren't stopping shit. I realize that. When the United States bought TikTok, because I was like, I've never seen a push for something so much in my life. Never. I've never seen so many people come together. They called their congressman so much that congressman took to social media and told them to stop because they were afraid of their lives because of the threats or whatever. It's a bunch of fucking pussies, right? And you know what? They did it anyway. They knew how everybody felt about it. They knew it, and they did it anyway. And that's the way most of these things go. Probably not. I think there is going to be a light to this. I just don't think it's going to be in our lifetime. And if it is, we'll be very old, sitting here talking to our old selves, talking to each other. No. They'll just kill you and say it was an accident. Is this a show about all old shipwrecks? No. But, I mean, it could be at some point. We have Fermi Lower in Michigan. Sometimes your only option is to pray. No, I think you should. I think you should pray, and I think you should pray a lot because I think that has a lot to do with it. I think it has a lot more to do with it than people realize. What else do I got? Are we moving on? Let's move on. Speaking of prayer, let's talk about why God is so mean. Because I've heard this a lot too. Like, why would you worship a God that flooded the earth, that turned a woman into salt? I mean, why would you do that? And this is a pretty good video.
I'd rather go to hell than worship the God some of you guys describe.
Remember that time that he flooded the entire planet? Super nice of him. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't understand why a God would give us a holy book that portrays him as the villain if he didn't want to be seen as a villain.
Because the Bible is not meant to glorify your sin, so of course you would see a God who judges evil as a villain, which is ironic because people like you spend all day demanding justice, accountability, and punishment for evil until the possibility arises that you are actually guilty. But since your bloated narcissism can't stomach the fact of your own corruption, you would rather indict God than to face your own moral decay, which is why you hate repentance to begin with.
God dang. That was crazy. Man, that's one thing. Like, listen, I never shipwrecks could definitely be a topic some night if you really wanted to. Yeah, we absolutely could. No big deal. That's crazy because there are so many. I grew up in the church. I grew up Roman Catholic until I was probably 11 or 12. 12, I think, is when they asked me to not come back or whatever. And then I left. But even in that, I would have never, even though I was like, this church blows, I would never, blaspheme God or Jesus Christ in that way. I for years, I don't think I ever fully understood it until the last few months, maybe the last year, of the story of Jesus Christ and of the Bible. I don't know that I ever fully believed that, that thing. But I did believe that God was real, and I did believe that Jesus Christ walked the earth, and that I did believe that Jesus Christ died for our sins. That was never and that these are I need to do everything I can to kind of live as he wants us to live. And I think that I've never ever wavered from that. I've sinned for sure, a whole lot, but I would never come out on the internet and be like, this fucking guy. I'd never. There's a little bit of fear there. I never would. No. Absolutely not. Those people working for there's a lot of them. And I think there's a lot more than we even realize. Because I told you, I've been watching these videos. So these dudes, they walk around and they're like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And these people, and they're old. They're 50s, 60s. Years old, and they look miserable. All the people that are no, don't talk to me. No, they're old and they're super, they look depressed and depressing, right? But then occasionally they will run into one who will stop and they'll be like, oh my goodness, yes, absolutely. And they want to talk all about it. Like no fear. Big smiles, dressed real nice, look just lively, happy, just happy to be alive. Every single time they find a yes, that person looks just happy to be alive. Every single person that says no looks just depressed and defeated and sad. Sorry, not super old. I'm sorry, because I'm 43. I guess. I'm sorry. Older, the older generation. God, I get in trouble if I say boomers too. I can't say that anymore. I'm like Gen X Xennial. Nobody even knows we exist. It's fine. It is fine. Killing the Nephilim with the flood was good. They were like terrible. And they corrupted people, and those people were like terrible. Those people refused to repent. It was terrible. And now we're back here again, except we're not with Nephilim. We're with like septum piercing people. And a lot of them had it. No offense to the liberals, but frick. Come on. Open a Bible. You look sad. Dang. All right. I'm sorry. Lord, I'm moving on. Let's talk about Paula White.
Because I'm telling you, there's an anointing of release right now. I want $100,000 to come in. I want $100,000. There are 10 people that could give $10,000. There's 100 people that could give $1,000. Get a check, make it payable to Paula White Ministry. There are people that are watching right now. If you say, I don't have it, give $100. Bring up a sacrificial seed. This isn't for me. This is about kids that will die without you being obedient. I need you to stand. There's only 3 envelopes. I'm not moving. I'm not going to lay hands on people till you're obedient. Get out of your seat. Come on and come bring up a seed. You need a breakthrough. You need things. You need a building.
This bitch going to hell. She has to be. What is this? She's the White House person, right? Yeah. What is this? That's not even right. Listen, but she's been in the news a lot. And everybody thinks she's this huge deal and she must run this big congregation and all this stuff. But I found this other video of a guy who went to one of her churches on Easter Sunday. And he actually went on Tucker and did an interview. And I'd like you to listen to this too.
Who is Paula White and how did she become the president's main spiritual advisor? You told me this morning that you went to church on Easter Sunday, which was yesterday, at her church.
Mm-hmm.
And so before you give us the overview, can you just describe what that was like?
It was an interesting experience. You know, when you see Paula on stage next to Trump or you see any big evangelical leader, Kenneth Copeland, Franklin Graham, you'd expect their church to be massive.
Yeah.
You know, thousands and thousands of people.
They're pastors. They have a church. They're pastoring people. They're the shepherds. Exactly. They're the shepherd.
Yeah. And so we pull up and I expected a very big building.
Where is it?
It is in Apopka, I think I'm saying it right, Florida. So just north of Orlando.
Okay.
And I've been to Joel Osteen's church, you know, tens of thousands of seats. I've been to Second Baptist, 93,000 members in that church. I know big church, right? It looked like a one of those metal sheds, you know, one of those big, like 5,000 square foot. It looked like an airplane hangar, basically. And I was like, this is just awkward. It was, the parking lot probably fit 50 cars. And so it was just an overflow in a dirt lot. This is a good size, like, setting for you. They just had a simple coffee maker, like a standard pot coffee for their entire congregation. And so I walked in, I counted about 400 chairs. And when I got there, which was the time the service started, there was 7 people sitting.
On Easter Sunday?
On Easter Sunday. And so we walked in, they put us 2 rows from the stage. And ironically, Paula's daughter-in-law approached me. And I was there with my girlfriend and she approaches us and goes, who are you? And I'm wearing a floral shirt, yellow sunglasses, and an Alabama hat. Like, I try to be awkward in these situations. And she comes straight up and she goes, I'm Paula White's daughter-in-law. And I'm like, I'm Nathan. I don't hide who I am. And she's like, would you take a photo in front of our Easter display? And I'm like, sure. And so I walk over and Paula White's daughter-in-law is taking a photo of me. And I'm like, okay, can we get it? And I wouldn't be surprised if it's on their Instagram this morning because it was for like their Instagram. So we go and we sit down and It packs out to about 200 people on an Easter Sunday. One of the two biggest, Christmas and Easter, the two biggest holidays for Christianity. 200 people show up to this thing. Mostly African Americans. I was one of 6 white people. And then you got this white woman on stage. And that was the setting.
That's her church?
Her church, yeah.
God dang, isn't that crazy? Because whenever I saw her, like when she first came on, I thought she was like Joel Osteen. Like she had these big mega church, and I guess not. I don't, because we had more people than that at our church. And the church that we went to was also in like a tin building. But I wanted to say, I think their count was like 300 or some people, maybe. I don't remember how much he said was counted. And we live in a really small town, like a really small town. That's wild. How much evil do you want to stay after the purge? I don't know. If Paula White could go with purge, that'd be great. She's fucking terrible. Jesus does not approve. Somebody else said, Jesus does not approve of Paula White. That's not what church is supposed to be about. At all. Like, I'm all for you giving to your church if like your church needs a new roof. Okay? Or like they're doing like a Christmas present program for the local kids in your area. But her standing out there demanding $300,000 for a bunch of fucking pores. Like, that's unbelievable. And she's like, I'm not going to pray for you unless you pay. Why is she in the position that she's in? And someone said, is that what happened? And it might be, because we don't have the same Trump we had the first time around. And the faster that we just accept that, the better off we're all going to be. I think we lost him when he got COVID. That's my personal opinion. I think when he came back from Walter Reed, we had a different Trump. I think he went after it for a while, and then they got him. Somebody got him. A lot of prophets are staunchly pro-Israel, so there's possibility intelligence operatives maybe. I don't believe in prophets either. Because the one thing about a prophet is if Jesus sends a prophet, he's not supposed to tell people that he's a prophet. Prophets don't tell other people that they're a prophet. They just guide to the best of their abilities and hope that everything works out. Like, they just believe. God talks to them and they're like, all right, here's what we're going to do. And then they do it. And if hopefully people come along, and if they don't, then they don't. I don't think that's it at all. I think we lost Trump from 2016. I'm sorry. I do. Because I went with this. I would have went with this in 2019 for sure. But then you have to explain Mike Pompeo. You have to explain all that, and you can't. I just don't think it's the same. I don't think he's the same. We never needed church to connect. No, you didn't. You never needed money to. That was Jesus's main thing when he came here. Is like, you can talk to God. You can pray wherever you are. You don't have to be in a temple. You don't have to be on your knees. You don't have to do any of that. You can just talk to him where you are, wherever that happens to be. And man, the church leaders, they hated that, right? Because they liked the idea of the control over the people, that people couldn't get to God unless they could go through them. They do have an Iran war right now. Yeah. We're in a war with Iran right now. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's going to be fine. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. You just keep going and you try to lighten up and you try to be as playful as possible. And that's what this next creator is going to talk about. I follow this guy on TikTok. He's the one that taught me how to count calories. He didn't teach me, but he did a bunch of videos on it and like calorie baseline and stuff. He's the reason I started doing it. And he's the reason that I love it. And I can't believe I've done every diet known to man. I've gone Mediterranean. I did vegan. I did Atkins. I did no carb. I did low carb. I did the one where you just eat nothing but meat, like organ meat. I did it all. I've done it all. And I hated all of it. And I was miserable through all of it. And my weight would yo-yo. I'd lose it and then it would come right back. But then he went on to talk about calorie counting and then getting 10K steps. And you needed to find out how many calories you burned throughout the day just by sitting. And you can do this at this website that I can't remember. Just Google it. How many calories do I burn a day while just existing? And I burned about 2,100 calories a day just existing. Probably 25 now because I'm trying to walk every day. And so I cut it down to, first I started with 1,200, which was too low because I kept going over. And so then I bumped it up to like 1,370, which put me in a deficit of a lot. But I found that I can eat 1,370 calories and be satiated, which is fucking wild. They taught me how portion control, eat slower, pay attention to my food. And I fucking love it. I'm down like 22 pounds this morning. And then I get 10K steps every day on the treadmill. It's 15 total with everything, but I do at least 10 on the treadmill when I can, or outside if I can. And this kid, and then he made this video talking about how life, you're supposed to be playful in life. You're supposed to be light. You're supposed to be happy.
It's play, man. That's the secret. You want to have everything that you want in life, you have to remain playful and light. There's a reason in the Bible we're called so often to be childlike. Be like the children, for they will inherit the kingdom of heaven. There's so much inspiration and creativity that's borderline supernatural in that childlike version of yourself. And somewhere along the way, we grow up and get told to be mature, be an adult. We're told we're too much or we're not enough, and we have to change from that essence, that God-given essence. The lighter and less seriously I take myself, and the more fun I have in this life, the more incredible things happen to me that are simply beyond my wildest dreams. This career, for example, is beyond my wildest dreams, and I've been treating it like a game that I play every day. And the more fun I have, the crazier it gets, and I just keep asking God, how good can it get? How much fun can I have? Athletes have their best games when they're in that flow state, that 80% effort, smooth, slow, and controlled. My dad used to say, light grip, quick hands, when I would step up to the plate and hit baseballs, because he knew I couldn't swing the bat fast if I was clinching and forcing it. And that's what so many of us are doing for life or with our lives. We're trying to white knuckle our way through. What you need to do is loosen your grip, because you're a lot quicker when you're relaxed than when you're tense. Loosen up. It isn't easy, but it is simple. Nobody's getting out alive. Don't overcomplicate it.
His name's Higher Up Wellness on TikTok. And I do. I follow, he's like a fitness bro. But he has all these like tips and tricks on different recipes and staying in a calorie deficit and what it kind of, I just loved him. And so I was like, bet Snickers. And this was one of the things about the calorie deficit that I loved the most, I think, is that there's no restriction. I'm not restricted at all. I can sit down and have a hamburger and fries, but I can only have a cup of fries instead of whatever portion I'm feeling. You know what I mean? And then I eat slowly. And then when I start thinking, am I done? I'm done. I'm all done. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm all done. And that was the lesson I had to teach myself. It took about a month to kind of get used to it. And then weighing my food in grams and ounces and stuff like that, that took a little longer to get used to. But now I kind of got that down. And then, but I can have like flavored yogurt, which like on a no carb diet, you can't really do flavored. You have to do the gross plain Greek yogurt, which is fucking disgusting, right? I can eat what I want, but I just have to stay within this deficit. So I could eat a Snickers. Snickers are 230 calories, but that's going to eat up some of my calories for the day. And that's okay. Protein. So this is where I'm at now. So I got good with the calorie deficit part of it and kind of mapping out my day. And now I'm focused on getting more protein and hitting that protein and my fiber goal. So those are the two big ones that I'm really focused on. Chia seeds help with the fiber. It's kind of gross and they're high in calorie, but they do help. And protein, which is meat. I like protein bars. The collagen's got some protein in it, things like that. Oh my God, plain Greek yogurt tastes like turpentine. How do you eat that? How do you eat that? How? You don't put anything in it? Nothing at all? That's a strong stance to taste. That's gross. Whoa. I like, it makes my butthole pucker. See, okay, now you put some honey in it. Okay. But then you're adding more carbs because honey is basically pure carbs. So if you're doing low carb, you can't do honey. It's just stupid. I hate it. I do a lot of leftovers now. When it's hot. Yeah. Protein first will make you full, but lower your metabolism. Same with too much muscle. Yes. So I'm learning all of this now. So I got my first month. I figured out how to track my calories, what my goal was, how many times I need to kind of revamp it too, because as you lose weight, you don't burn as many calories just sitting around as you do when you're bigger. So I had to kind of revamp it. So I'm there now. And now I'm kind of learning about the different, macros. Because rather than trying to learn it all at once, I just focused on calories that first month. It has lots of real fruit in it. I like fruit too. Fruit gives you fiber. I don't like blueberries though. I think they taste like water boba pills. They don't taste like anything. I do like them with sugar cooked in a pan, like for compote. That's pretty good, but that defeats the purpose. Yeah, Greek yogurt by itself is disgusting. Is he on X? I know he's on Instagram and he is on TikTok and he's on Instagram. He might even be on Facebook. And I think he's on YouTube for sure. And if you haven't yet, check out my YouTube. I revamped it last night. And cleaned it all out because we're gonna kind of, I'm moving away. Like I said, when something happens that I feel compelled to talk about, I will. But I think from now on, we're gonna cook. We're gonna talk about stuff like the conspiracy stuff, which is, I like it. I think it's fun. The different aliens and things like that, kind of. I know, whatever. And we're gonna cook and go from there. Plain Greek yogurt is awesome. Blueberries. Oh my God. How can you, Tracy? How can you swallow it? I think it just tastes like turpentine. I do like fruit. I just don't like black blueberries. I like blackberries. I like raspberries. I like apples. I like bananas. I just don't like blueberries. I do not like goat cheese. I do not like blue cheese. I do not like Gouda. So I think it is an acquired taste. I think you are correct. What else do I got? We got to move on. What is this? Oh, this one's funny. This one is a guy that he was beefing with his HOA for a long time and he's winning his beef. And now I guess he's running for HOA president because he's trying to get the woman out of there. So here's
my HOA president is about to lose her presidency to me. Osama bin Laden is going to get voted out from this neighborhood. And I know you're like, Jeremiah, I like the catch of your jib. You seem like an awesome guy. You're funny, incredibly good looking. I know you're thinking all of these things, but you're also thinking, I want to know what you stand for. We're going to start with this one. I don't want to come in, now everybody's lawn looks terrible. So there is going to be some violations. But instead of fines, we're going to do something called the flamingo of shame. If you commit a violation, we will put the flamingo of shame in your yard until the violation is fixed. We'll have re-education classes, but it's just a barbecue. Your dues go into an account. Whatever we don't use, you get back at the end of the year, or you can use towards your next year's dues. We'll call it the Neighbor Bailout Fund. Instead of fines, the HOA helps people fix issues. You need your fence repaired? We use the community fund to help you out. I mean, every year we all vote on whether or not we dismantle the HOA. Party permit fast track. If your party has smoked queso, it's automatically approved. We call it the neighborhood beef mediation. All disputes between neighbors must be settled through either cornhole, a dad joke competition, and or smoked meat competition. We have Lawn of the Month. The neighborhood votes every month on whose lawn is the best, and whoever wins, we get a trash can. We paint it gold. They get the gold trash can for a month. A suspicious activity reporting reform. Before filing a complaint on our website, we'll make it to where they want to file a complaint. Residents have to wait 10 minutes and ask themselves in the process, could I simply mind my own business? No snitch left behind. Residents filing complaints must also submit a Chipotle gift card, a handwritten note, and one nice thing about the accused. Oh, Crocs are no longer banned. This sounds like an HOA you want to be a part of. All fines that were racked up previously are now pardoned. That is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a smart man. But in order to be wise, you must surround yourself with people who are also wise. I know you guys have the best ideas, so drop your HOA policy position ideas in the comments. Follow me like my HOA.
He's been going back and forth with this HOA lady forever. I know. I would live in his HOA. I don't have an HOA. I barely have a town. I've never lived in an HOA. I probably would pull my fucking hair out though. I did hit my neighbor's fence post today or yesterday though. So I would already be in violation. He has a fence post. So we have an alleyway and he has a fence post. He lives on the corner. He's a fence post on his corner, and he has it there because the neighbor that lived here before we did, she always drove on his yard when she pulled into the alleyway, like with her back tire. Because the problem with it is that they all the neighbor all parks their cars in the streets too. So it's hard to kind of like swoop in. So I could see why. I guess she would drive in his yard on accident. Anyway, he put a post there to stop it. And I hit it yesterday and broke it and pulled into my garage, shut the garage door because I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I went into my husband and I was like, I felt like a little kid. I'm like, I hit their post, and he's like, because he just doesn't want to deal with it. And but he goes out, and we had another post. So he grabs it out from under the deck and drags it over there, and he's like, I'll go talk to him. I said, okay. And then I left. And he comes back and I'm like, was he mad? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, shit. Sorry. He's like, but I offered to, replace it, to dig out the old post, put in the new one. He said no. And then we were talking to the neighbor that lives across the alley from him. His name is Doug. Doug is fucking great. Doug shot himself with his own gun in his hand. And so he's been recovering for months. It's a long story. It's a sad story, but it's also kind of funny, and he laughs about it too. Doug is the grandfather of my middle kid's best friend. Anyway, and my middle kid's best friend was there when it happened. But so he was talking to Doug, and I guess Doug was like, man, I've hit that pole so many times. He's like, tell your wife not to worry about it. Because Doug and him, they're like, I don't know if they don't like each other. I don't know. But so then I didn't feel that bad about it because like Doug's like, he's mad at me too because I always do it. And so I'm like, well, I'm just going to come in from the other way, which means I drive next to Dave's house. And I'm really careful because Dave's yard looks really nice, and I don't want to like mess that up for Dave. I like Dave a lot. I got a little thank you package for Dave to give to him with Waylon's picture in it. We lost our dog this week. Well, end of last week. And he really liked Dave and Dave's yard and was always out with me when I mowed, and he would go into Dave's yard and roll around, and Dave would always stop what he was doing and pet him and stuff. So I got a little thank you bag for Dave, and then I won't drive in his grass. So yeah, he did. So let's all give Mr. Shipwreck a big shout out because he's also working 16-hour days. And so the last thing he wanted to fucking do on his one day off for the week, because he's also working weekends now, was go over there and fix this. So, and his wife, and you guys may not know this is kind of part of the reason I don't go to GART. His wife is a serial introvert. Like I am, it's probably a mental illness maybe at this point. Like I'm really bad about that kind of stuff. Like I would have gone over and apologized. But my husband, he just took care of it. And that was the end of that. And so big shout out to Mr. Shipwreck. If we could show him some love in the comments, that'd be great. Sorry about that, babe. Anyway, I feel like if I had an HOA, that would have been a violation. I also, though, would run for president. And then when I win, I would just say nobody can put fence posts in the corner of the yard. Also, you can't park in the street and obstruct people's ability to turn into the alley so that they hit the fence post. So they have bills for that. I feel like I don't want those pills. I feel like I'm social enough on the internet. I used to be a huge social butterfly. Like I used to be like the life of the party. And then when I started doing this, I kind of like pulled back. And I think that's because you're out here so much that when you're out and you just kind of want to pull back. Because I was at a basketball tournament, and it's not weird. So if you're watching, I wasn't weirded out. I was at a basketball just this last weekend in the town that we go to all the time for basketball tournaments. And this lady walks up and she taps me on the shoulder and she says, I know you. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, well, I follow you on X. I'm like, oh. I said, hi, it's nice to meet you. How you doing? Because I don't know what to say. It gets real fucking weird. And she's like, well, I love your stuff. I just wanted to come up and let you know that, I know who you are. And I'm like, and she wasn't being like creepy about it. It sounds creepy now that I'm saying it, but she wasn't being creepy. She was just trying to be nice and just, come up and meet me. And I'm like, hi, thanks. No, it's fine. Thank you. It's good to see you. Good luck to your kid. They were from like Denison, I think, or something. So I don't know. Lowering your calories, can it? Being social does take, like, these shows take a lot of energy. And it's only an hour, but it takes a ton of energy. It takes me like all day to kind of conserve and then to come on here and be like, raw. It just takes and then when I leave, I usually crash and then I go to bed because I don't know. But the people that I am friends with, the people that do not ever, don't you dare. I'll know it's you too. I'll be like, Jilly, you don't get one. What are you doing? Like, we'll take a picture. Nobody does autographs anymore, Jilly. AI is too wily for that. I feel like I'm extroverted with the people that I'm comfortable with. Like, I have a friend named Amy. She's moving to Colorado. She wants to be a big liberal mom, I guess, or some dumb shit. But she's moving to Colorado and she's leaving me. But I'm super extroverted with her. I don't know why. She makes me very comfortable. She's just one of those people where I'm just like, I feel like I can be myself. She talks a lot of shit, which makes me believe that she also talks a lot of shit. So I don't know. I'm just like, whatever, Amy. I like your vibe. I like your vibe. So we've just vibed since then and we've been good friends and now she's leaving me. Dennison, it does. She was super nice. It's just like we were in Sioux Falls too, walking through a hotel for a tournament and one of the hotel staff, the manager of the hotel stopped me and she's like, are you Shipwreck? And it's okay if you do it. I'm not weirded out. I will stop. I will talk to you. But I am very awkward. Very awkward. And I know everyone says GART is different, but you don't know how awkward I can get. My husband, on the other hand, is that guy. He is friends with everybody and he'll talk to anybody. And, he makes friends everywhere. Tons of friends on Facebook. So he is my buffer. Like, he is the guy. He's the guy that takes over the conversation when I run out of things to say. Like when I've had enough. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm an introvert, but I live 20 miles from civilization. I'm going to get there. Once we're empty nesters, man, we're out of here. I know, but I think that I don't know what it is. I think because I do this, I feel like I want to be more reserved. And with that comes no practice on being a person in humanity. So you get out of practice with it. I have one more video. I have like a couple more videos, but I forgot to label them and I don't know what they are. You guys want to learn about petrified fish? Since we were talking about Nephilims, let's end with that one. Here we go.
Petrified fish. That's right. It's exactly what I said. And yes, fish can petrify. It's called permineralization. It's where the sediment replaces the tissue, the minerals. If you look behind me, we believe we've actually found one. You can see the eye hole. It goes all the way through. There's even a mouth down there. And there's pectoral fins, what we believe. And on top is the dorsal fin. And for all of you wondering how this fish got out here at 5,300 feet, well, there was a flood at one point in time when God flooded the earth to wipe it clean of the Nephilim and all the evil. That's when he told Noah to build the boat. And when the water receded, this is what was left, along with many of the other petrified giants that we believe we have found out here. Come see us. We're out here in Colorado.
They do like tours and stuff. But have you ever been to Devil's Tower? We used to go to Devil's Tower when I was a kid, and I just went out there a few years back. And then we plan on going back out there at the end of July. So I'm going to take the husband and the boys. We're all going to go out there. We rented a cabin. And I think we're going to try and get to Devil's Tower one of the Devil's days because it's a petrified fucking tree. They say it's a mountain. They say it's a rock, but it's not. It's a tree. And you can like read the testimonies of the rock climbers who climb it. They'll tell you it doesn't climb like a regular rock or a regular mountain. It climbs like a tree. It's a petrified fucking tree. And it's huge. Massive. From the Nephilim, from the mud floods. Could you imagine, like, if they flooded it again? We'd have, like, petrified French bulldogs. Like, what the fuck is this? I got $5 from T3 Excellent. Howdy, it's good to see you. Thanks for being here. I'm all for the Nephilim. I'm all for the flood, the mud flood, the Book of Enoch. I'm all for it. I believe it happened. I believe God will do it again. After watching those videos of people are like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And they're like, no. Like, the fuck? Flood this bitch. Flood it all. I'll build an ark. I just made a garden. I could probably build an ark. Flood it. Flood it. Actually, I heard next time it's going to be fire, which I don't like because I'm afraid of fire. I was probably burned at the stake in another life, maybe, because I got an unusual fear of like fire and needles. So those are the only two things I don't like. Yeah, I was asking everyone who passed on the trail, it doesn't look like a tree. Yeah, it does. It's a tree. I thought it was when I was a kid. I thought it was a giant tree. The story behind Devil's Tower is really cool too, like the Native American story with the bear and everything. It's pretty neat. Visit a GART. I'm just saying, I know I can't go during that time because it's like June. It's like coming right up. And like Mr. Shipwreck's fucking swamped. I can't leave with kids. I just can't right now. I'm still needed. I'm just not needed for like hours at a time throughout the day. It's different. And I get it. And everyone's like, we're those people. We're your people. But like, yes, maybe. I still have quite a few comments from somebody with the Trump stuff. Like people got real pissed about that. And it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I can't lie about it. So I can't. Shit's not going the way that I voted for it to go. And I'm not happy. And I'm going to tell you I'm not happy. And I know you're not happy about that, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Unless your plan includes dropping my gas prices and my grocery prices and my energy prices in the next week, I don't care about your plan. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Maybe someday when I'm not so awkward. We'll see. Well, I don't know. I thought it would resonate a little bit better, but it did not. Apparently, I did not win the hearts of everybody. But it is what it is. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm all done with it. I'm hopeful, but I'm realistic. And that's the way it's going to stay for now. So we're just going to do whatever the hell I want to do, which is kind of cool. I enjoy that. But I should go. Are we getting wrapped up? We got 2 minutes left. We got 2 minutes left. What else we got? Oh, you guys follow JD Delaney? Oh, here.
What annoys you the most about people in wheelchairs?
Fat people shouldn't be allowed to use wheelchairs. That shit is cultural appropriation. If you can fix your problem by just getting up and walking more, you're not disabled. They not like us. That's stolen valor, dude. They're being lazy. You can fix your problem. I can't. God fucked me, okay? I'm done for.
What do you think these fat people could do more of?
Walk! Get those fucking steps in. I'm trying, okay? I work so hard for 5 steps and y'all can't even take 1.
That was the most valid cultural appropriation argument that I've ever heard in fact, I think that's the first one I think I've ever agreed with. Bro was legit stuck just doing this. And y'all can't even get up and walk? When moving your body is literally the solution to your entire problem. No, we're not just talking about doing fork raises. We're talking about move. I'll think that dude's onto something or not. Let me know down in the comments. That dude's fucking based.
I fucking love JD Delaney. He cracks me up. He was like the pedophile hunter for a while, where he was like hunting down all the pedophiles on the internet. But now everybody does that. Pedophiles can't even fucking walk down the street. Look at their fucking... There's one that was released from Texas, Waco. Oh, do I have that story? I don't. That's all right. I can just tell it really quick. So there was a man who was convicted of raping his son's best friend over the course of years. And that best friend is now a teenager, right? And he went to prison for 30 days. He went to jail for 30 days. 30 days, this man. Okay. His wife was a teacher. And so they're leaving Waco, Texas, and they moved to Nebraska. Okay. So all of these mom groups on Facebook have been sharing this information across, because I'm in a lot of these Nebraska because we're right on the corner. So I'm in a lot of these groups, and they're sharing this dude's information and her information because she's trying to get a job at these schools. And then she was offered one, and they found out about it. And so now they're emailing the school, and they're like, do you know who this is? Do you know who her husband is? Do you know what they did? And they're sending the article and all this stuff. They're trying to like warn the school that this is what's going on. It's fucking wild. They gave him 30 days. And now they're here, and she's trying to get into a school in Nebraska, and it's like, the town is, I can't even remember the name of the town. It was on Facebook. It's not far from here. I think we've played basketball there. But she got hired. And they're sending emails, they're posting to their Facebook page, they're warning the parents, they're in the mom groups of the town and that. Like, moms, there ain't no 30 days. They gave him 30 days in jail. He raped that boy for years. They are. The moms on Facebook, man, are not to be fucked with. They're just not. They will find out and they will tell everybody. And so now all the moms in the school are like, okay, well, if you're going to hire her, we're pulling our kids out. And it's like a whole fucking thing. I got $10 from NCC Cheney. Thank you so much. Just because I love your face. Thank you. What would George Washington have done if he saw our current government? I don't know. I have no idea. It's about time people got him. Yeah, they took it and ran. And it's not really being covered either, which is wild. Like, it's not national news. It's not being covered. These moms just took it and fucking ran with it. They've made flyers with his face and her name and his name. And there's people in the comments that are like, but she didn't do it. Why would you still be with him and be with him? I'm frozen. Am I back? I'm back now. Why would you still I'd fucking dip. Like, bye. I'd pretend like I never fucking knew you. You'd be dead to me. You never have existed, ever. Dead to me. Have you ever heard of Stacey Beach, who does shows on human trafficking? If she ever comes your way, please go. She's fantastic. I have not, but I will keep eyes out for it. I bet Washington would have done things that would be arrested for even talking about. I don't know. $10 we got from Karis5326. Ship, I was incredibly depressed tonight. Long story, just being here with you tonight has made me feel human again. Thank you. Oh, you're magic. Thank you so much. I'm glad. Politics makes me depressed, especially lately. So we're pivoting. Because until the conversation turns from, oh, who are we voting for next, to what are we going to do now? The same shit's going to happen. And I'm going to pivot for now. That's the best that I can do. To culture, to lifestyle, to mom, to cooking, to whatever the fuck I'm feeling for the day. They stacking bodies. I don't know what they would have done. I know what I'd want to do. I don't know. It is what it is. All right, we're 4 minutes over our time. I'm going to dip. You guys, I love your faces. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for sticking it out. You guys are the best. Badlands Media is the best, actually. They are the best, too. And you should stick around and watch their other shows if you don't. Or if you want to. It's fine. A lot of news, I think. But they do some fun stuff, too. So, all right, I'm going to go. I love your faces. Keep her moving. Take it easy. Tell your mama I said hi. And watch out for all of those deer. Okay, bye, guys.
Tonight we're making one. Today for homemade.
If you need a break from the politics, please consider subscribing to our Substack or subscribing to our ex-subscribers. Just good food, good friends, and good times. We'll see you later. Thanks, friends.